From the moment Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung appear together, something shifts. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, but it's unmistakable. Viewers lean in without realizing it. Conversations slow. Reactions soften. And almost instinctively, people describe them with the same word again and again: trusted. In an industry built on spectacle, that kind of reputation doesn't happen by accident. Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung first captured public attention not because of scandal or surprise, but because of how natural they felt together. Even early on, there was a sense of ease between them that didn't need explanation. They weren't trying to sell chemistry. They were simply present with each other, and audiences felt safe watching them do so. That feeling has only grown stronger with time. As both actors matured, professionally and personally, their bond evolved as well. What once felt youthful and bright gradually became grounded and steady. Fans noticed it in interviews where neither tried to dominate the conversation. They noticed it in behind-the-scenes moments where comfort replaced performance. And they noticed it in the way both spoke about each other with consistency, respect, and restraint. Nothing exaggerated, nothing careless. In an era where words are often used to stir headlines, their choice to remain measured spoke volumes. One of the reasons audiences trust Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung so deeply is because neither has ever used the other as a stepping stone. Their connection has never been treated as a marketing tool or a convenient talking point. When they appear together, it feels purposeful, not opportunistic. When they speak, it feels considered, not reactive. That kind of mutual respect is rare. Fans often point out that when Park Bo-gum is with Kim Yoo-jung, there's a visible softness in his demeanor. Not performative gentleness, but a calm attentiveness, listening more than speaking, responding rather than leading. At the same time, Kim Yoo-jung carries a quiet confidence around him, never overshadowed, never diminished, fully herself. Neither tries to outshine the other. That balance creates trust, not just between them, but with the audience watching. Over the years, many pairings have come and gone, fueled by hype and burned out by overexposure. But Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung exist outside that cycle. They don't appear constantly, and when they do, it feels intentional. That scarcity has protected the sincerity of their connection. It has also protected the audience's faith. People don't feel manipulated when watching them. They don't feel like emotions are being manufactured for clicks. Instead, viewers feel invited into something genuine, something that doesn't demand belief, but earns it quietly. Another reason they remain Korea's most trusted pair is their shared reputation for professionalism. Both are known on set as disciplined, respectful, and deeply committed to their craft. Staff members, directors, and co-actors often speak of them with the same tone: reliable, considerate, focused. When two people with that level of integrity work together, it shows. There's no tension leaking into public view. No whispers of ego clashes. No narratives of imbalance. What fans see on screen aligns with what insiders describe off-screen, and that alignment strengthens trust. Audiences can sense when something is authentic. Even during periods when they are not working together, the respect remains visible. They acknowledge each other without obligation. They support without spectacle. And they allow space without letting distance rewrite the story. That consistency matters. In a culture where relationships, real or perceived, are often rewritten overnight, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung have never needed to correct the narrative. They've let time do the work for them. And time, in this case, has been kind. Because trust grows slowly. It grows in how they handle silence, in how they respond to rumors without feeding them, in how they protect each other's dignity simply by minding their own. Fans often say that watching them feels like watching two people who genuinely want the best for each other, regardless of circumstance. That sentiment isn't built on grand gestures. It's built on patterns, small, repeated behaviors that never contradict each other. And patterns are hard to fake. As new generations of viewers discover their work, the reaction is often the same. Even without context, people sense the stability between them. They feel the lack of tension. They notice the absence of forced intimacy. And they describe it as refreshing. That's why blogs keep returning to the same question, not whether Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung are something more, but why they feel so safe to believe in. Because trust doesn't come from answers. It comes from consistency. And year after year, appearance after appearance, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung have remained exactly that, consistent, grounded, and sincere. Not chasing narratives, not denying connection, just standing where they've always stood, side by side. And that quiet consistency is what continues to set them apart long after trends have shifted and newer pairings have taken the spotlight. As time moves forward, audiences don't just remember Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung for a single project or a particular era. They remember how it felt to watch them. The sense of calm, the absence of strain, the trust that nothing awkward or uncomfortable would unfold on screen or off. That emotional memory stays with people, and it becomes the reason blogs keep returning to their names. There is also something deeply reassuring about how neither actor has ever tried to redefine the relationship for the public. They don't label it. They don't dramatize it. They don't turn it into a mystery that needs solving. Instead, they allow it to exist as it is, respected, familiar, and unforced. That restraint has protected them from the cycle of expectation and disappointment that often follows popular pairings. Fans have watched Park Bo-gum grow into a figure of quiet leadership in the industry, admired for his humility as much as his talent. At the same time, Kim Yoo-jung has earned recognition for her emotional intelligence and steady presence, carrying herself with a maturity that feels earned rather than rehearsed. When these two energies meet, there is no clash, only alignment. It's why even brief mentions of each other feel meaningful. A simple acknowledgement in an interview, a polite smile at an event, a shared memory recalled without embellishment. None of these moments go viral because they are dramatic. They go viral because they feel honest. And honesty is something audiences are increasingly protective of. In a media landscape where perception is often manufactured, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung represent something rare: continuity. The same tone, the same respect, the same emotional boundaries. Years apart haven't reshaped their dynamic, and that stability reassures people that what they see is not an act. It's a relationship built on understanding rather than performance. Blogs frequently highlight how neither has ever benefited from fueling rumors about the other. In fact, both seem to actively avoid it. That choice alone has earned them a level of credibility that can't be bought or staged. When people don't exploit speculation, it tells the audience that they value something deeper than attention. That choice builds trust beyond fandoms. Even casual viewers, those who don't follow every update, tend to speak about them with warmth. They may not analyze every interaction, but they sense the mutual care. They sense the balance. And that's enough. What's also striking is how their story doesn't demand resolution. There's no pressure for a reveal, no countdown to a conclusion. Their connection exists comfortably in the present, without needing to promise anything about the future. That's another reason it feels safe. People don't feel emotionally manipulated. They don't feel pulled into a narrative designed to provoke reaction. Instead, they feel respected as viewers, allowed to observe without being pushed to interpret. As new projects, new pairings, and new conversations emerge, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung remain a reference point. Not because they dominate headlines, but because they set a standard. A reminder of what genuine professional respect and emotional steadiness look like in an industry that often rewards excess. And perhaps that is why, even now, blogs continue to frame them as Korea's most trusted pair. Not because they are everywhere, not because they explain themselves, but because they never contradict who they've always been. In the end, trust is not built on moments meant to be remembered. It's built on years that quietly make sense. And that is exactly what Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung continue to offer, year after year, without asking for anything in return. And as the years continue to pass, that sense of trust doesn't fade, it deepens. What makes Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung so compelling to write about, even now, is that their story doesn't rely on constant interaction. Many beloved pairings disappear the moment they stop working together. With them, the opposite happens. The distance seems to strengthen the impression rather than weaken it. Each time they are mentioned in the same sentence, it feels intentional, not recycled. That endurance is rare. It suggests that what people respond to isn't proximity, but principle. The principle that two individuals can share a meaningful connection without turning it into a spectacle. The principle that professionalism and warmth are not opposites. and the principle that respect, when maintained over time, becomes something audiences can lean on. There's also a quiet maturity in how fans now talk about them. Early excitement has evolved into something gentler. Instead of demanding interaction, people express appreciation. Instead of pushing narratives, they protect the space around them. That kind of fandom behavior reflects the tone set by the actors themselves. Calm invites calm. When Park Bo-gum speaks about his work, there is often an emphasis on responsibility toward the story, toward colleagues, toward viewers. Kim Yoo-jung mirrors that same mindset, frequently highlighting teamwork and emotional honesty in her performances. When two artists share that worldview, their connection naturally feels grounded. And grounding is what viewers crave. That's why blogs don't frame them as a mystery to solve, but as a standard to observe. Articles focus on what they represent rather than what they might become. They're written about as a reminder of balance in an industry that often swings between extremes. Even when speculation inevitably arises, it rarely turns aggressive. People hesitate. They choose their words carefully. There's an unspoken understanding that whatever exists between Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung deserves gentleness. That kind of collective restraint is earned. It's earned through years of consistency, through never weaponizing affection, through never contradicting actions with words, through letting silence speak without filling it with noise. As new audiences discover their older works and see newer interviews side by side, the continuity becomes even clearer. There's no disconnect, no visible shift in tone. The same warmth, the same composure, the same mutual regard remains intact. That's why trust keeps resurfacing as the defining word. Not excitement, not intensity, not speculation. Trust. And trust is powerful because it lasts longer than hype. In the end, Park Bo-gum and Kim Yoo-jung don't feel like a story frozen in time. They feel like a relationship that grows quietly alongside their careers, adapting, maturing, and remaining intact without needing constant affirmation. They don't ask audiences to believe in them. They simply give people no reason not to. And that, more than anything else, is why, years later, they are still spoken of as Korea's most trusted pair.